Hey guys, what's up? This is Eagz. Welcome back to another video. Sorry if my voice is a bit hoarse. I've been coaching all day, bruv. If you do want coaching, wow, that was such a good advert, actually. Hey, if you do want coaching, there'll be links down below to the website. You can add me on Discord. We can schedule something, set something up. This session with Will that I did is on Patreon. I've got so many sessions, over like 500, maybe 550 now and there. Lots of them have been recent, maybe like 150 in July, so check that out, all recent. In this game, I thought this would be useful to review myself, just like the VOD review format thing. So, Will in this game is playing via jungle, and we're going to whiz through this, man, because I want to get through a lot of points. Here against an Ivern, he should just start red buff to take away any cheese, and what he ends up doing, he gets invaded on his red buff, so you see here how he starts blue. Reason he starts blue this game is because he wants to play for bot, but again, you don't want to get cheesed by the enemy jungler, so starting red, you'd probably do the same against a level 2 champion. Starting Raptors or red is probably fine. Anyway, whenever this happens, guys, like what you want to try to do is just hit level 3 first, and then you go into their jungle. Also, you should know that they're probably going to have something warded around here, right? Because if they're gonna do this, it's probably premeditated, and they're gonna ward around here or get one of their laners too. So the best way to do it is actually just to hit level 3 and then potentially go here, or just hunt the Ivern down if you have vision of him. Like, there's just a fight here, and anyway, they end up winning this. But what happens after this, guys, is gonna be like the big kind of how do I put it? Like, difference between what Will does, or what I should say thinks, because that determines what you do, compared to challenger junglers. So what he ends up doing here is recalling. Now, is this good? Of course it's good. Like, he's 100 HP. Why would he run 15 seconds to do a blue buff he doesn't need, right? Like, he's just going to buy Dirk and 2 longswords here anyway. Dirk and 2 longswords runs out of base. Rift Herald is up in like 50 seconds to a minute. 1, 2, 3 into Rift Herald. When he's running out here, he should just be looking at lanes. Can he make a play bot? Well, I'd rather just hit level 6, right? Also, laners here are going to be at least level 6. Jace is 7, Camille 6. So everyone's hitting level 6 with ultimates, right? And this is what I call the mid game, because it becomes much more dynamic. It adds another layer of fighting, and lanes can actually change just because champions hit level 6 and stuff. So what Will ends up doing Raptors, I think this is correct, right? We're going to hit level 6 after this, and let's see what he does after this. So he's going to end up queuing over this, and he actually gets seen here by the Jace who queues in. Please do not get seen, guys, on minion waves like that. Really, really bad. He should just go around like this and end up going to Rift Herald here. And the funny thing is, if he doesn't get seen, he can actually just hit the Rift Herald because Ivern took the dragon. That means Ivern took time out of his own camps to spend maybe like 25, 30 seconds doing dragon. So he's probably under-leveled, which he actually is. So in another game here, if Will wasn't spotted, he could easily hit the dragon. And the issue here, and I even said it when I was coaching him, is that Tahm Kench can be here, right? So he actually can't do anything now because he got spotted on the mid-wave. This is such an important concept, guys, just to like not walk, not only like obviously where you're going to get spotted by the wave and maybe a champion moving up, but also like through popular warding spots. I got tagged recently on Twitter by Kami, who's like a master GM Kha'Zix player in the US, and no other coach like talked about it, how he just walked into Tri-Rush when nothing was happening, and it was just warded. And it's like he's just giving away his position for no reason. So think about that as well. Here he actually DDoSes the Ivern and gets a kill, so it's really fortunate this works out. And again, I just don't like it because he's already been seen. Thankfully, like the Braum, who is medic in this game, eventually comes up north and now makes it even. But again, like that shouldn't happen just because he was seen. Doing Rift Herald here is great because the Ivern is dead, right? Now, this next move that Will makes is really good, and it's something we've talked about before, and this is something that, again, like I think I've talked about on the channel, is just recalling here after Rift Herald. Lots of people here are just going to go Gromp and Walls. And you might say, well, the Vi doesn't have ultimate. So why would you recall him? Like, what's the point? Why not just go, like, Gromp Wolves into a base? Can you, like, counter-gank top or just sit here waiting for Ivern to potentially gank this? Can you go and dive top lane? I think he can go and dive top. It's an option for sure. But when Camille has ultimate, I mean, I guess Warwick has ultimate. He can definitely do this. But the issue here is that you're going to lose what? Because think about it. The Vi does Rift Herald. Can the enemy team tell she's done Rift Herald? Of course, right? There's a message in the middle of your screen. The enemy jungler has taken Rift Herald. So if you're anyone, really, the natural way to think is if you're Ivern or Tahm Kench or anyone is to kill Ezreal. So Will here makes an excellent decision to recall because he's covering off what he can potentially lose, yeah? Pretty much whenever you do Rift Herald here, guys, the enemy team should be thinking about this every single time. I showed a Canyon clip as well in my last video just to, like, make sure you guys, like, trust me, I guess. But yeah, it's just the natural thing to do, right? You guys get that? All right, I'm going to try to create something on the other side of the map. In other words, killing your AD carry. So what Will should be doing here is telling Ezreal, look, mate, just fucking relax a little bit here and just wait. Try to wait, maybe like 20 seconds or something. You might have to run off. Okay, no worries. But I will be here to back you up. And you're not just protecting a dive. You want the Ezreal to get dove because you can get like maybe a triple kill here or something, and the enemy team thinks you're doing what? something probably still topside, right? They're not going to expect you to base and run here, especially with Rift Herald and like a champion like Vi with mobility. Running out of base, you get hit very, very quickly. The only other thing I'd say here is that Will was so close to Duskblade after this, or Ghostblade, whatever he was going. Like he's, that's 1300 gold. He's one camp away. So I think if you're only one camp away, man, it's definitely worth just to go here, or maybe even dive top and insta recall. But even then, man, like recalling here is still good. And maybe it's even best just because, do you need a Duskblade or Ghostblade to do what you want to do here? Like, you'll be ahead of everyone in the game still, having, like, Dirk and Warhammer. I mean, Draven actually looks really fat. But you get what I'm saying, right? Like, you're still going to kill people with Dirk, Warhammer, and potentially Longsword, right? Also, just another tip if you are going something like Duskblade, Ghostblade, and you have a little bit of leftover gold here like Will does. See how he has 1250, so he can't actually buy that item. So what lots of people will do here when they buy Warhammer, they'll have like leftover gold, and even if they have like 400-500 gold, they'll buy a longsword. That's still making that mythic like 750 more gold, because if you have Dirk Warhammer like this, the Duskblade, Ghostblade, Eclipse mythics are all 900 gold. Bro, if you have even 50, 750, 800 gold, I'm fine with you buying a longsword, because I think it's almost guaranteed you're going to get like that much gold before your next base. But at this point in the game, man, like when you're running out of base here, you're going to be fighting, right? Because maybe you have ultimate, maybe you don't, but you are strong, right? Because you're running out of base. Now, these fights aren't always going to be like pixel perfect, I guess, in a way. So I just think it's a lot better if you don't even buy anything, even if you're on 500-600 gold. But Will was on like 850, so buying a longsword there, you can see how he only needs like 375 more gold now for mythic. And this is a play I'm talking about, right? Like, if he pinged the Ezreal just to relax a little bit, he would have been here. But this play, see how he comes in here for Draven? This should just be a flash Q, obviously, on Vi. He would get the kill straight away, and he ends up getting the kill. But hopefully you can see, man, just how good this move is. And the enemy team here, especially because it's not Challenger, is probably thinking, wow, like this Vi's everywhere kind of thing. Like, why is she here? I thought she just did Rift Herald and she's farming these two camps. Like, it's kind of weird. Or maybe diving Camille. But you know what their play is. The worst thing that can happen to you there, and this is one of the most important jungling concepts, and something that even Challenger junglers struggle with sometimes, is like, you have to protect the counterplay, bro. In other words, that counterplay is probably going to be like the worst thing that can happen to you, right? Because you're losing a teammate, they're getting kills, the enemy team's getting kills. It's probably like the worst thing that can happen to you. Or they're getting like your whole bot side or something like this, right? Probably the worst thing. So if the answer to, can you cover that counterplay, can you counter the counterplay, if the answer to that question is yes, because you're very strong and you think you're strong enough to win 3v3s and stuff, you should be covering the counterplay off. That means you get a big plus here because you got the Rift Herald. That means you get a plus here because you pick up 2 to 3 kills because the enemy champions are overextending and diving someone, and you're here to back them up. Super important, bruv. Now, after all this, Will, I think all he has to do here, man, is play his ultimate cooldown. Why would I say this now? Like, this is a little bit different, and this will be the last thing I touch on in this video. And any questions, by the way, guys, about the moves, let me know. And if you do want more content like this, please let me know by leaving a like down below. It does help us out a lot, so thank you for all of you who are doing that. The thing I just want to make here, the point I want to make here, is that I just said, right, about how going bot is great, right, covering counterplay. I just said, though, before, the Vi doesn't have ult. So basing and running bot without ult, like, that seems a little bit presumptuous, right? We're going to get kills. But what did we do just before basing? We did Rift Herald. So the enemy team knows we're top. The enemy team here knows that we're bot side of the map for a little bit longer, right? Because we just showed killing Draven. We just killed the Ivan, or showed on Vision maybe. So we're probably just going to go like, what, Krugs Raptors? And after that, we could still do anything. They probably don't even know my ultimate cooldown is Vi. But what can you do here? You can just stay in fog the entire time and almost abuse that knowledge that they don't have. They don't know what your next move is going to be, so you can actually just abuse this time while your ult's on cooldown to go walls, gromp, and again, you can either base and run here. Maybe at the end of this, like, your ultimate would be up. Maybe top lane's a free kill and you can just come and lane gank them. Maybe Warwick's getting ganked as well. So here you can play your ult cooldown because they probably don't know where you're going to be. But after you do Rift Herald, they're probably going to think Vi's still top. Now, yes, you might be pathing top here as well, but there's a subtle difference there, man. You're playing your ult cooldown here because it's very unlikely they're going to try kill Ezreal and Braum when you are here in this area. So in the near future, they're probably going to relax, right? Because Vi could be here. And then all of a sudden, after you do Walls Gromp, it will happen very quickly. You recall and run here. You can probably do exactly the same thing. Actually force a fight with your ultimate. So thank you guys for watching this video. Again, if you did enjoy it, leave a like down below. I will see you in the next video. Don't be shit. Coaching down below. Bye.